We're here today to talk about why Mewtwo might be one of the greatest villains in all of Pokemon, if not the greatest villain in all of Pokemon. At least I believe that's what we're talking about. Anyways, why Mewtwo is the perfect villain. Let's check it out. Shout out to the Discord. Thank you guys for submitting this video. Let's get to it.
The villain serves multiple valuable purposes in a story. A great villain is both awesomely terrifying
Gus is so
and
evil.
awesomely cool. They often exude a certain dark energy
Vader,
that's terrible, yet you can't quite look away. They pose a serious threat to the hero characters and often to the world. And deep down, they have conviction. Their why, the twisted philosophy that drives all their action, which
with everyone super
must be confronted with
no one
the heroes
is.
in the final act. And in this way, villains directly challenge not just the abilities, but the beliefs of the heroes.
Yeah, it's
The heroes
always
can
the
only
beliefs.
shine as bright as the villains are dark. And an
True.
easy opposition is not a story, but an incredible threat that's never been seen before, one that pushes the heroes to their limits and then some, not knowing if they'll be able to save themselves and the world. That's a story.
Man.
Mewtwo.
This movie still looks so good after all these years, man. I have not seen this movie since it came out originally. When did this come out again? Like early 2000s? It still looks good animation wise.
Was a perfect
This looks
villain
good
because
from
he
these
checks
cuts.
all of these boxes and more. His story is a philosophical questioning of the meaning of life and of power, one that leads us to a curious paradox. But in order to understand Mewtwo, we have to understand Mew.
Yes, the original.
That is Mew, the rarest of all Pokemon.
Mew is an enigma. It's
Bro, that violin.
undoubtedly the most elusive Pokemon to ever exist. While only ever appearing for a rare split second in the eyes of lucky beholders, we as the viewer are treated to some quality screen time with Mew to learn what it's doing. Mew appears to be one with nature, blissfully enjoying the moment-to-moment unraveling of life without a care in the world.
That's a
Mew
good thing
represents
about
purity.
life.
What you're looking at is an enlightened being, and as the ancestor of all Pokemon, it's said to be one of the most powerful of all time, which naturally allures scientists to try to harness such a power with funding from
Science!
Team Rocket's Giovanni.
Yes.
Creating the world's strongest Pokemon. And we succeeded.
Which is all the information we
Test
would
tube,
know
baby.
at this point, if we were excluding the additional layers to the story. While it was removed from the final cut of the English version of the film, fans agree that the uncut story of Mewtwo's origin adds significant depth to not just Mewtwo, but Dr. Fuji. Here we see a scientist collecting the fossil and a younger Mewtwo that resembles the original more, who spends its first moments coming into existence in a computerized shared space with the consciousnesses of a few other clone Pokemon and a young girl.
Am I a person?
Wild. So
You look
AI.
like a Pokemon, but you talk.
This is what Mewtwo experiences before anything else. Surreal social interaction in the metaphysical space that is Dr. Fuji's hard drive. He bonds with the girl named Amber 2, the in-progress clone
Amber
of
2,
Dr.
huh?
Fuji's deceased daughter.
Oh man.
I've reawakened her consciousness.
Oh
Here in
no.
this chamber.
Oh my goodness. To reawaken somebody's consciousness after death? Bro, that's imagine you already died and you're chilling in heaven, whatever your heaven you believe in. And then next thing you know, you snap back to reality and then you're inside of a freaking hard drive. Sounds terrible.
Why are you doing this? You can't bring Amber back.
You're wrong.
Having this
Oh,
context,
man.
we now understand that
He's crazy.
Dr. Fuji is not just some mad scientist under the funding of the evil Giovanni, but a broken man walking a dark path in desperation of filling the void. This sympathetic angle is a critical detail that allows us to understand his intentions on a human level, as twisted as they are.
That's called wind.
Wind?
The wind helps us along. Sometimes it's soft and sometimes it's very strong.
Unfortunately, all of the clones except for Mewtwo are unable to sustain any longer, and tragically, Mewtwo experiences loss for the first time.
I feel something.
This is big. Why did they cut this out?
Please.
The one who helped him understand what life is, and what he is, has vanished before his eyes.
Don't cry, Mewtwo. You should be happy. You're alive, and life is wonderful.
So now we understand that when
Life is
Mewtwo
wonderful.
awakens in the tank,
That's
larger
kinda crazy.
matured and says,
This is not the same. Was everything before just a dream?
that's what he's talking about.
I mean, like, yes, it was a dream, but it was like, it's augmented reality. Like, these are digital constructs of other Pokemon in a person. And explaining to somebody that isn't really being born, but being created, a clone, like that's pretty psychologically manipulative, impactful, and terrible. And I can understand why Mewtwo gets so upset and starts destroying everything.
The traumatic loss of Amber 2 and the other clones, which is now only a faded memory of a past life.
I have slept for so long, but I remember something, someone.
So it goes without saying that Mewtwo's birth is unlike anyone else's. Take the strongest Pokemon in existence and empower it with science and technology. He was sedated to forget what happened before, meaning that Mewtwo awakens in this life, here, as a fully functioning adult mind, one imbued with psychic powers, locked in a tank surrounded by staring eyes.
Life is wonderful, but why?
Why is it important?
私は誰だというセリフに象徴されるように、テーマはそういう私は誰だっていう一見難しいようなんですけども、実はその子供の頃誰もが一度はふと思うこと。
Bro, I don't know about this guy, but I don't think I ever thought about, who am I to this type of extent as a child. Like this is like some type of extra, I can't say the word right now, but it's whenever you're thinking more than you God, I can't say the word. But you guys probably know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, thinking like this on such a deep level as a child, I think not many people do this. Existential crisis. Damn. Okay, it took me a minute to say it out, but there it is. It's like some existential type of issue. If you're thinking like this as a child, I don't know any children that think like this, but if you're thinking like this as a child, man, I can only imagine what type of roller coasters you're going to have to go through your development as a young adult into adulthood. So, and that's the stuff like I didn't think about anything like that until like around young adulthood anyway. But to do it as a child, that's absolutely insane. Y'all let me know if you ever thought about stuff like this as a child. That's new to me.
And then he says one of the greatest lines in the whole movie.
This cannot be my destiny.
Mewtwo's escape is memorable to say the least. Everything is excellent. There's so many shots that I adore here. So that was our first look at Mewtwo's psychic power,
like Android 17.
I still remember to this day reading in that book that I brought to school. Because even at age 6, I knew Mewtwo was a perfect villain.
At 6'7", 269 pounds, do you think Mewtwo could beat LeBron in a game to 21?
Yes.
It says here, psychic, yeah. He can anticipate moves and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe he can pull it off.
Bro, why is Stephen A. Smith talking about Mewtwo right now?
I'm not saying it definitely would happen, but it's possible.
It's possible.
His partnership with Giovanni is an interesting next step. Now his scientifically enhanced body is once again equipped with the best that science has to offer, and we bear witness to another series of encounters that demonstrate Mewtwo's incredible power.
Wow.
So, this is my power.
But this does not satisfy. There's still a restless angst that's itching at him.
But why am I here?
Me when I'm still at the office at 3 p.m. on a Friday. Still questioning his true purpose, Mewtwo notices Giovanni is a garbage human being when he switches from
I see you as a valuable partner.
to
You were created by humans to obey humans.
Oh, hell no.
Never be our equal.
Okay, we'll see. He turned him into a villain.
The world will heed my warning. The reign of Mewtwo will soon begin.
Now
Whoa.
that's how you give a compelling villain backstory.
He wants to conquer.
Hot dog.
I didn't know that as a kid.
He saw him as a weapon and able to chart his own destiny. Mewtwo rescinds his presence for the time being and becomes a hidden figure pulling the strings from the shadows. He invites the greatest Pokemon trainers in the world to his private island to see who is the greatest. This entices Ash and the rest, and they set out for adventure. Mewtwo casts an enormous storm just with his hand, which has always been one of my favorite sequences ever since childhood. The movements of the hand to the music is just a perfect combination. This storm, if left unchecked, threatens to consume the entire world.
Really?
The harbor manager manager thinks this could be the worst storm ever.
A global natural disaster with some flicks of the
Get him,
wrist
Officer
will
Jenny.
absolutely check the overwhelming threat box.
Bro, did you guys like Officer Jenny or did y'all like Nurse Joy more? Because I loved Officer Jenny way more than Nurse Joy.
In our villain assessment. Thank you very much. Through perseverance, they arrive and share a moment of camaraderie before quickly being shut down in awe of the greatest Pokemon trainer in the world, who they learn is itself a Pokemon.
A Pokemon can't be a Pokemon master? No way!
Which rubs one of them wrong.
Yeah, all right, bro.
Mewtwo is like,
Casualties all around me, don't make me do
Whoa!
things get worse.
Yo, this was not a kid movie.
Who are demonstrably stronger than their originals in their 1v1s. Watching Charizard go char hard and still be overwhelmed by its clone is genuinely painful to watch, like a punch in the gut. Damn! From that one, and to once again make matters worse, Mewtwo raises the stakes by calling for the unthinkable.
I now claim my pride.
Your Pokemon.
This sequence is 11 out of 10. No notes. It will have you on the edge of your seat.
Pikachu!
From the diabolical prospect of abducting everyone's Pokemon with your creepy clone Pokeballs to seeing Ash and his most beloved friend in the entire world pushed to the brink of exhaustion, desperately sprinting and thunderbolting to their limit to escape, to the incredible score that subtly cuts out to allow the trembling Pikachu whales to take the spotlight and then cuts back in. It's perfect. A necessary sequence in our epic tale.
Pokemon's fire.
Glory. Mewtwo's methods are proven to be terrible indeed. Oh, how he has chosen darkness. For someone who resented his artificial creation and use as a weapon, it's tragic to have gone on to bring that same fate upon so many others. Furthermore, what rocks me to my core is the following shots where Ash heroically launches himself into a pipe, sliding into the unknown out of love for Pikachu.
Things I do for love.
Which, along with continued maximum effort stroke.
Bro, I gotta hit a like just for the Courage reference. The things I do for love.
Is in fact just enough to save Pikachu. And I love this. This is incredibly fulfilling. That each and every individual effort, no matter how small it seemed, did add up to just barely make the difference. It all mattered immensely so, actually. And what's more, being in this part of the island, Ash is able to free the rest of the Pokemon. Just when the others believe they're staring death in the face, about to lose all their Pokemon, Ash emerges in true hero fashion, with all of them following the power paradox. In the classic story of good versus evil, of light versus dark, of love versus hate, there simply must be an epic final battle. It is the crucial confrontation between two sides of the same coin, and not just of their powers, but of their philosophies, which brings on the most amazing fight scene of my
Hit my lead!
Mew, true to its nature, represents purity. It has no intention of fighting. In fact, it saves Ash from getting splatted like Jimmy Neutron.
Nice. And a Jimmy Neutron reference? Wow, this channel is goated.
What?
And then it gets right back to playing. Mewtwo, filled with resentment, fires an electric orb at Mew. I said it has no intention of fighting.
Damn.
Until it needs to.
Oh, send it back. Damn.
It is here that we as the audience and Mewtwo come to understand that flaunting power does not increase it, and a lighthearted demeanor does not subtract it.
True. Says you don't prove anything by showing off a lot of special powers, and that a Pokemon's real strength comes from the heart.
To have power. People who enact their power with humility enjoy more enduring power. Ironically, the more we approach our power, our capacity to influence others with humility, the greater our power is.
And so, the two most legendary Pokemon to ever exist,
it gives me something to think about
at the time, Mew and Mewtwo, go head-to-head in an unbelievably epic battle.
Yeah, balls hitting each other.
And it's awesome. There's just one thing that I can't stop thinking about. Because you see, in this movie, all along, there have been declarations made by Mewtwo himself.
I am the strongest Pokemon in the world.
By the scientists who created him.
Improved through the power of human ingenuity.
So they say.
The narration of this.
Bro, they would suck themselves out. Yeah, human ingenuity. That's the reason why you're so much stronger. Yeah, okay, buddy. It sounds like it's giving what's his name, Kabuto? when he was like, "Yeah, I brought you back from the dead, Madara, stronger than ever before." And he's like, "How do you know how strong I was? Let me show you something."
This tale of the most powerful Pokemon of all.
That Mewtwo is the strongest Pokemon to ever exist.
So they say.
Even than Mew.
So they say.
Why is it then, after all of this hype about him being the strongest Pokemon ever
he
created,
getting washed,
top of the line science and artificial enhancements,
We use the most advanced techniques to develop your awesome psychic powers.
and fueled by the power of hatred, that he cannot defeat Mew? This is the power paradox.
The experience of power, minus a focus on others, quickly leads to the abuse of power. Rather than empathize with others, we lose touch with what others feel and think. Rather than giving, we take. Rather than uniting with others by telling stories of common humanity, we distance ourselves from those we believe to be below us in arrogant narratives of our own superiority.
The reign of
Mewtwo. That's absolutely true, man. And it's a balance and it's a struggle for many people. A lot of people think, "Oh, it's me versus the world," or "It's me against you," or "It's me versus myself." And it's like, to be honest, the best way to become stronger is through the help of other people. That's just how we've evolved as humans. Like, we all need each other, right? That's the reason why community is so important. Yeah, trying to do it on your own. Sure, you can probably get some notches under your belt doing it on your own. But to find people that you could do it with could drastically just shoot you higher than you could have ever dreamed, man. It's crazy, but it's true.
Will soon begin.
When it comes down to it, what actually objectively happens? Evidently, these two are trading blows perfectly evenly. Their force fields clash in parallel. There is no attack that Mewtwo can cast that isn't equaled by Mew, which begs the question.
And it looks like Mew ain't even flexing.
The ultimate test of strength, the powers of dark and light, are completely equal. Why bear the burden of hatred? If it's damaging and corrosive to the bearer, and doesn't actually make them any stronger than those embodying peace, then what is the point?
True.
What is the game here? Why Mew and Ash and Pikachu are perfect heroes? Mewtwo is smart and logical. If this path of hatred actually has not made his power any greater than that of Mew's, who harbors no hatred and is seemingly enlightened, playful and joyful at every passing moment, then why would he take the path of darkness anyway?
40 years ago, people believed that leadership required dominance, assertiveness, and force. But today, things are different, reflecting the social changes of the recent past. People have come to believe that power is best expressed in compassion and enhancing the well-being of others, and that warmth and understanding are just as important to strong leadership as forceful, assertive, and bold behavior.
You have to wonder
I
if
can
this
believe that.
inability to overpower Mew starts to uproot the beliefs that Mewtwo had about his power. Pikachu refuses to fight Clone Pikachu, inspiring Ash to step in and say no to the fight between Mew and Mewtwo and all of the Pokemon.
Damn!
The power of the Pokemon tiers is nothing short of a miracle, but critically, one that was mentioned in the true backstory by Amber 2.
My daddy used to tell me a bedtime
Even more
story
plot.
that when Pokemon are sad
Why'd they leave it
and
out?
they cry, their tears are filled with life.
The ancient writings tell of the storm wiping out all but a few Pokemon. In their sorrow, the water of their tears somehow restored the lives lost in the storm.
Which connects
Oh,
with
so if you guys die, then it's not a big issue because the Pokemon will be sad and miss you. So why are we sitting here if we're just brave the storm? If we die, it's okay. The Pokemon will cry. That's what I heard anyway.
Mewtwo's inner child and opens his eyes to the powers of light that he couldn't see before.
I pitted them against each other, but not until they set aside their differences did I see the true power they all shared deep inside.
So because Mew can rival the powers of Mewtwo while appearing playful and enlightened, and because Ash and Pikachu can inspire the end of the fighting and the aforementioned heroic sequence we saw before with the Pokeballs, that is why Mew and Ash and Pikachu are perfect heroes.
I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
A villain doesn't have to be an anti-hero that has a light side arc in the end.
Like 100%. I agree with what Mewtwo just said, man. It doesn't matter how you were raised or where you were born at. You could be legitimately, you could be born in a terrible environment and you can still grow up to be one of the nicest and most caring and compassionate human beings to ever walk the earth. And we've seen it before in history. Gandhi, for one, right? So it's not a far-fetched thing to say, like, it doesn't, like, it's easy to be corrupted, especially when you grow up in an environment full of corruption. But it makes you way stronger to say, no, I don't need to do that. I'm going to do it my way. And my way is a path full of compassion. Like, that's really big. That's a good leader.
Who you are.
A villain doesn't have to be an anti-hero that has a light side arc in the end to be a perfect villain. But as a story for children about finding one's purpose and meaning in life, I think it's actually quite brilliant. We get to enjoy the awesomely terrible and cool factors in Mewtwo at the beginning of the story, while still ultimately getting to root for him as a hero after all. And, you know, you're like Mewtwo. You never asked to exist, yet at some point in time, you, in awareness, came into being and became conscious.
Consciousness.
And you've been existing ever since. And whether you realize it or not, you too have the power to choose what you do.
That's true. No, that's 100% true.
Said that life is wonderful, and that's why Mewtwo was a perfect villain.
Yep, 100% true, man. This was amazing. This was a great video, man. This was
up in this place anyway?
Great.
Well, I guess
Already
we're just here
liked it.
because we're here.
I guess we're just here because we're here. That's another one. But yeah, this was absolutely amazing video. Thank you. Shout out to the Discord. They're the ones who submitted this video right here. This is the video I needed. You know, I'm not feeling down or anything. You know, I'm actually so far, like right now in my life, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling amazing. And this video was just the cherry on top to be like, yeah, man, enjoy life. Like legitimately. You have every reason in this world to be negative. You have every reason in this world to be a pessimist. You have every reason in the world to say, man, life is terrible and I resent it. And you also have the ability to say, no, I'm not going to live like that. I'm going to move more positively. I'm going to have a more happy and fulfilling life. And I'm going to give and share the wonders of life to people that may feel that it is dark and it's down. And I'm going to, show them, hey, it's not all bad. So yeah, this is an absolutely amazing video, man. This is great storytelling as well. Level 1 Rock, you just earned a new subscriber. So I can look forward to see what else you have next, man. This was a great, it's a great retrospective. It's also a great summary of the story, and it's also a great interpretation of the story itself. And it has a good ending. I really enjoyed this video. This was nice. This is one of the best videos that I've seen in a long, long time. I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10. Great work. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for watching. If you are new here, subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button, join the Discord down below and drop videos like this, and I'll check them out whenever I get the chance. And until then, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Peace.